Hello and welcome to No Load Time, episode 52. My name is Hodeles, and with me, the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? Greetings and salutations. Welcome here to another episode of No Low Time. Obed, we've had an amazing last week here, and I'm so excited about this episode.
Yeah, I'm exhausted.
Yeah,
I was
it's a
just trying
lot.
to, yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in, a lot of trying to keep up with news coming out, uh, more stuff, more gameplay demos, and a lot of stuff that's been done in the last couple of days after the event, after E3 actually started. So, man, but Joel, after Monday, and again, thank you guys for tuning in on Monday for our live stream of the Sony press conference. But Joel, I really have a new appreciation and respect for professional streamers.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. I'm telling you, man. When we wrapped up on Monday night, I was exhausted. I felt like I was working all day, and we only did it for an hour and 45, 2 hours and 45
2
minutes,
hours and
right?
40 minutes. Yep.
Yeah. So I respect you guys seriously. If you're into streaming and if you're doing this the YouTube/streaming thing for as a profession, yeah, you got my respects. It's a lot of work that's involved, keeping up with a chat, keeping up with equipment, and what's going on the screen and talking. It's a lot of work. So hats off to you guys, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. It was tiring, fun, but
Yeah,
very tiring.
yeah, absolutely. It was a lot of fun. But Joe, so what we're gonna do today, we're gonna just try and go ahead and do a full recap to the best of our abilities. Because there's a lot that happened, and we did a lot of recap on Monday as well. But that episode is not available as a podcast. It's only available as a video on YouTube right now. It's on our channel and our archives if you guys want to check it out. But Joel, let's talk about do you want to talk about EA again a little bit? There's really not much to tell.
Yeah, I think it's important that we just address it for those that, again, if you didn't watch our live stream, we talked about it briefly, and we'll probably talk about it briefly again. The same aspect, I feel the same way I felt on Monday night when we recapped a little bit, that it was quite underwhelming and also a little disappointing, because the one thing that I did look forward to hearing about, which was that new Star Wars game that they had coming out, just was non-existent, was not spoken of. It was just something that was there online, that was put out there, and you would have thought this is the best stage for you to give something. And even though I didn't expect to necessarily see like gameplay or something, I just want to see, even if it was a behind the scenes talking to the developers and what their thoughts are about how they're developing this game, a little sizzle reel or something there, I would have appreciated, just to kind of get a thoughts on where this game's going to be going. But it was just non-existent, not spoken of. And what was spoken of was your classics, your sports, and they also made it a big effort to kind of go away from the loot boxes and the premium content as a result of the Battlefront effect, as I would refer to it.
Yeah.
So they made a big important announcement to say, hey, we're going away from this. The person who made that announcement was a little peculiar, right, Obed? That how they did it. But that's just my feelings on EA. I don't know how you feel, Obed.
Yeah, it was a little bit awkward. They brought one of the developers out instead of Andrew Wilson, the CEO of EA, addressing the issue, since it was a business decision and not a developer issue. I mean, it's not like the game was busted and broken at launch. It's that the implementation that the publisher put, the monetization that the publisher put or mandated into the game, that's what caused the problem. So Andrew Wilson, instead of addressing the issue himself, he sent the sacrificial lamb out to the stage.
Seriously.
Unfortunately, yeah, and that's pretty much how it went down. It was not good. But yeah, the Jedi Fallen Order, because it's not Jedi Fallen Order. it's we didn't even get a slide with the title, dude. It was awful. It was Yeah, it was Andrea Renee, who is an internet personality. She went out and talked to Vincent Pella, the one of the founders of Respawn Entertainment, and he gave out the title. It was just like a very awkward interview in the crowd, and no title shot, no nothing. It was quite possibly the worst E3 reveal ever.
Mm.
Um, it's up there. I mean, because the game's coming out next year. They could
The
have,
big IP.
yeah, and absolutely, it's a big IP. They definitely should have showed something, um, and unfortunately, they did not. Missed opportunity there. They did address some of the issues with Battlefront, and again, we're talking about the developer that came out and said, "Hey guys, we're sorry." And then they revealed that there was going to be a Clone Wars expansion for Battlefront, which again sounds pretty cool. I mean, they're probably going to add some decent maps, and I believe it's Count Dooku, General Grievous, Obi-Wan, and Anakin. They're going to be put in as heroes. So I mean, that may be pretty cool. They may. I may go back to the game. I did not have a lot of luck last weekend with getting into a game and making sure that everything was up and running and working. Uh, there's not a lot of people playing, unfortunately. So it looks like they're getting a hit. It could be that people are, doing other things, because I know that a huge part of the gaming community was out there with just paying attention to what was going on E3 wise. But other than that, man, absolutely disappointing conference.
I 100% agree, man. I mean, there really wasn't much to talk about when it came to them because, it was stuff to be expected, and then the stuff that they did have that was strong just wasn't properly presented. So poor EA, because they actually needed something decent,
Yeah.
and they didn't give us that.
Yeah, the only two things of note again, Unravel 2, which was unveiled and released right there on stage, and Sea of Solitude, which looks pretty cool. But again, these are indie games that I may or may not have interest in. It depends on what the availability is for that game, and what games are actually out there that are taking away my time at that point.
It'll probably go down as the forgotten press conference out of this
All right.
past E3. I mean, like, no one's going to talk about anything that came out of this year.
Yeah, it was absolutely by far the worst one. But Joe, let's go into what quite possibly maybe the better console, but the better press conference with an asterisk. And it's the Microsoft conference. I think, and again, I said this on Monday, but we're just gonna go again through this. I think that they did have the best show. They had the best stream of games. They had the best flow, and the best just overall, stage and stage setup and all that. They didn't have any technical issues. Overall, presentation wise, it was the best conference, and there's no questions about it. They brought it. Like they needed to bring it, and they brought it. The two things of note now, Joel, why this may not have been the best conference after all is, number one, we again get Gears, Forza, Halo as the exclusives. They did not show anything new. They only showed like a minute trailer for single player for Crackdown. I think they're just writing off that game as that it's not going to be a great game. Then they confirmed that Halo reveal they showed is a proof of concept or a tech demo for their new slip space engine. So this is 4 or 5 years away, maybe. Which, by the way, Joel, I heard that one of the lead artists from Naughty Dog joined that team at Microsoft today.
Interesting.
Yep. So I saw it just maybe about an hour ago. So that's interesting. They're definitely out there hunting for talent. They need it. But don't expect any of these stuff to be out on Xbox One. This is going to be next gen stuff. Not even I would dare to say not even a cross-gen product. This is probably going to be full next gen. Um, so don't expect Halo anytime soon, basically. Gears is coming out. They said 2019, no date, but hopefully comes out next year. What's interesting on that demo, Joel, it looks like they did tweak some gameplay components. It looks a little bit fresher, but it's again another Gears of War game, and it's another prequel. So again, we go back to using the same IPs. So nothing new. They had a fantastic lineup of third-party games that they showed in cross-platform and multi-platform games. You know, from Sekiro Shadows Die Twice, Devil May Cry 4, Jump Force, a lot of third-party stuff that's coming out for everything, right? And again, goes back to last year, but last year my game of show was Dragon Ball Fighters, and it was showed at the Microsoft conference. So, you know, they do show good stuff that you can get on PlayStation or PC. And that's the problem that they had. They didn't show no new IPs, and no new date, no concrete dates for nothing new. They did acquire 4 studios. They opened that new studio from Santa Monica, and they acquired Ninja Theory, the developers behind State of Decay. The name escapes me. I think it's like Undead Labs. Yep. And the 2 smaller studios, the guys that are doing We Happy Few, and then another studio that I think, and Playground Games, which do the Forza Horizon games, which is rumored that team's working on a Fable reboot. That's fantastic. But if these acquisitions just happen, don't expect any of this stuff to be out on Xbox One, guys. This is going to be next gen. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, you're good. I'm with you there on how you said that Microsoft had a good show. They had a good presentation. It was no hiccups. The games that they did show, I think, were good. I think what I still have problems with is that there was nothing that I saw that made me say I need to have an Xbox One X or Xbox One. There was nothing on there that made me say I need to get this console, because at this point I recognize that there's some couple of cool games that are coming, but when it's mostly cross-platform things that are interesting me, then there's nothing that moves me in the direction, unless I'm a Halo person, which I'm not too crazy about. I'm not an hater of it by any means. I think they're fun games. I've played them myself, but and then you have Gears. Okay, that's cool. And by the way, yes, they are calling it Gears instead of Gears of War as usual. A little rebranding ish with the name, but it was something where I liked the games that I saw, but the exclusives weren't. They looked really good. They looked really solid, but wasn't anything that made me go, I need to go get this console. Where they've done it for me in the past. Like I remember like games like Quantum Break and stuff like that. I was like, this looks pretty cool. Like
Yeah.
they've had stuff that looks. I think this year was for me the stuff that they did show. Like Crackdown 3 is not gonna make me go get an Xbox One. I'm sorry. So I think that's my issue. But as a show, for their showmanship was flawless. They gave a great show. I'm sure if you were there in the audience, you probably had a great time. And if you were watching live, you probably just had a really good, entertaining time. They entertained you and did a good job. So I give them credit for that.
Yep. And the second thing, Joel, is the at the end of the show, Phil Spencer mentioned that they are working on the next Xbox consoles, plural. Then the next day it came out that the code name is Project Scarlet, and they're working on multiple devices. So I'm really confused by what that means. They shed some light to what this could be. This could be just one streaming Xbox box, and then an actual console. I really
They
don't know.
They have no need. They have the most powerful console out there right now.
So,
Separate. We're not talking about PCs or anything like that, but just consoles. They have the most powerful console right now.
yeah, and it just came out what 6 months ago, 7 months
Yeah.
ago, and that's a big problem where you have people that just bought a console, and you're telling me now 6 months later, yo, we're gonna go ahead and make a new one, and that's a problem because just rumors and these things are gonna get out there to eventually the general public hears, oh, there's a new Xbox coming out. I'm not just gonna bother and buy one. I'll just wait for the new one. So the Xbox One is done, right? They're just moving away from it. That's my feeling. They're just gonna go ahead and concentrate on whatever's big and whatever's next for them, and that's all good and fine as long as they can prove that they have the content to put on that device when it comes out. So that's a big problem that they have. Hopefully, they can fix it before that new product launches. Phil Spencer did an interview with Jeff Kurtzman from Giant Bomb today, and he talked about what the biggest issue for him was, and it was CPU. So he brought it up. So he said it was like, oh, we need a CPU to be that could be on par with PCs right now. So and he said it straight out that was the issue. So. But other than that, man, I think their conference was actually pretty good. So
yeah, I agree. It was fine.
Yeah, and then Bethesda happened. Joel, you nailed one on Bethesda, which was they did announce a Doom. Yeah,
I did. I predicted that one.
Yep, Doom Eternal. I wasn't expecting it. I guess it comes out next year. I think there's a beta coming out later this year, and they're going to show it at QuakeCon, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
So they did reveal that. I'm going to talk about real quick about the two reveals that they had, that these games are next-gen games. They're not going to happen within the next 3 years, and that was Starfield, which I talked about. And then they revealed that they are working on the Elder Scrolls 6. That game is probably 7 years away. Starfield is probably... No, with all seriousness. With all seriousness, Joe. I think Starfield's gonna be a 2021 game, and then you're still laughing.
Oh my gosh, he says it so blatantly. It's 7 years away.
And then Elder Scrolls is probably gonna be like a 2025 game. Seriously.
Joel Young will know. I mean, gosh, that's 7 years.
Yeah, I would have lost the rest of my hair by then. So. Yeah.
I mean. The funny thing is, I was talking to someone the other day. This is the podcast, so they know who they are, and they were saying how for them that was the game that was their biggest hype announcement of all of E3 was Elder Scrolls 6. That made them so happy, but they know that they were laughing like this is the best game to be announced, but they know it's not like anything that's going to come out anytime soon. Like they know that going into it, but it just makes them happy to know that it's happening. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, a lot of people are happy that it's going to happen, and that's great. But when it comes out, your life may be a completely different story. It was when like Final Fantasy now 15 back then versus 13 that was revealed back in 2006, and it came out 11 years later. Trust me, my life is completely different. So it's gonna be the same thing when Elder Scrolls 6 comes out. You're either gonna have kids or lost your hair or get divorced or something.
Your life will be somewhere very different. We'll look back in my day. I remember when they announced this game.
Yeah, exactly. You're gonna go look back to the day they announced Elder Scrolls 6.
Yep.
But they talk about Fallout 76 and again excited, and they started talking about Fallout. And Todd Howard started talking about Fallout 76, and then but in the middle of what his presentation was, he goes, "Oh, by the way, this is multiplayer." So he revealed that it was a multiplayer Fallout experience that's a prequel to the other Fallout games. I don't know how that's going to play. Some people are really excited, some people are not. But you know, Jason Schreier from Kotaku was vindicated.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But that was Bethesda in a nutshell. Oh, and Rage 2
Yes.
looks actually pretty badass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That demo they showed looked real nice. The driving, of course, this is done by Avalanche Studios that did the Max game. It looks nice. It looks real pretty. It looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. So, so that's interesting because that's a game that was really dull when it came out originally, the first one. So,
yeah, look good.
Yeah, so that was pretty good. The next day, Square Enix.
Yes.
Not a lot was announced. They again showed Kingdom Hearts for the second time, though there was a third time. But they're really banking on it, and it's fine because they're gonna that game's gonna sell like crazy. So that's fine. But to me, the only two announcements of note were Babylon's Fall by Platinum Games, and there's a game that looks really interesting that's called The Quiet Guy. It looks like it's a brawler, it's kind of like a Streets of Rage type of brawler. Maybe remember that release game for PS2 called The Bouncer?
Oh yeah,
it kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah.
And The Bouncer was done by Square Enix, so.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I thought that trailer for it was pretty funny because it looked like it goes from like live action straight into like CG.
Yeah.
Well, the actual gameplay of the game, and this dude's like, he's using sign language because he's deaf, but he's basically like, no, like I'm not in the wrong place. I'm here to mess you guys up. And, but that's dead silent because the guy's, he doesn't hear, so you're hearing from, it seems like from his perspective. So Quiet Man might be a really powerful man. I don't know. It's a game that's like, okay, I didn't ask for this, but it might be cool.
Exactly. Yeah, it might be cool. It depends on how the final product comes out, and
exactly
it depends on the combat because those games, even if it's a 4 or 5 hour experience, if the combat's good, that'll keep you going back. That's great.
Kingdom Hearts really quickly. Like, I don't know if you feel similar to me, Obed, but like the game looks really good. Like all the trailers and stuff, like it looks like a really fun. Like I'm not a Kingdom Hearts guy, and this game I might actually go and get. Like it looks good.
Yeah.
But the funny thing is, like every trailer that I saw for it, I was like, these guys do not know how to cut a trailer together.
No,
it's not good, man.
It's missing Foley sounds and
it's so off. I'm like, these guys, they don't know how to even market it, and yet they still may have my money. Like it looks good, but it's bad trailers, man. It's hilarious.
What it is I think the sound design's not done, and they'd rather not just present those trailers with no sound effects and have a decent trailer at least. But that was really awkward, yeah. And that's what I mentioned it on Monday that was just really weird, and again happened with the trailer they showed during the Sony conference. So that was pretty interesting, but not a lot from Square Enix. Of course, Shadow of the Tomb Raider is coming out. It looks pretty good.
Looks good.
Yeah. So no Avengers game, Joel. That I was disappointed.
Yeah, same here. I was waiting for it. Nothing.
Yeah. There's and that was it, right, for Monday afternoon, and then after that we jumped into Sony, which is probably the worst paced conference in a very long time, in my opinion.
That's what I was telling you while we were watching it live that night. I was telling you, it was like the timing is just not great.
Yeah. I know what they were going for, but unfortunately, logistically, it's complex, right? So you can't necessarily have a few hundred people move from one venue to the other
in the middle of your conference
in a timely manner. Yeah, exactly. And then jump to a reporter's desk for 13 minutes while these people moved around. That was a big problem. And after that was done, then it flowed the way it should have. But there was 13 minutes that they showed not even one game. They showed one ad.
Yes.
For Call of Duty, they should have been able to present 3 third-party trailers during that time. I would have rather have that than the Blockcast guys. They're talking about Call of Duty DLC and whatnot. So
yeah, it was really weird because like I think I feel like Obed, if we were there, like it would be really cool. It still would be weird because I think it's so weird for the reporters. But I feel like if I was there, it'd be like, oh, this is kind of cool because I didn't expect this. But I think that's still weird because you're like, I just got comfortable in all this. Now I got to go fight for my seat in this next, this next venue. But the cool thing was like when they did cut between, especially at the end of the conference, they kind of showed you what some of these people did see when they were walking through.
Yeah.
And they actually made it like an experience from the first tents that they were in that was set up for The Last of Us 2. Like when they were walking through this kind of like tent hallway kind of style thing, funneling people into this next venue. They had like some really cool like little Ghost of Tsushima like kind of scenic kind of stuff all around. So you was like you were walking into the next game experience, and I thought that was really fascinating to me. So I feel like if you were there, there'd be some cool like for me, I'm down with that. I actually kind of like that to some degree. But watching it was the weirdest thing. Like I'm sitting here, I'm like, it's like 9:30, and now we're seeing the second game.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is kind of weird.
And I heard that the AC wasn't working great at that first venue, too. So I heard that there were some other issues happening. So yeah, they should have just gone straight to like a regular conference and not do this gimmick. I think the gimmick cost them precious time that they could have used to show more games.
Yeah, it's bad for business.
Yeah. But the reasoning behind this tent space venue they had, Joel, was The Last of Us 2. I think there was a developer from Square Enix that worked on the Shadow of the Tomb Raider game that said that movement's fake. It's not possible for a game to move like that. And someone else, he deleted the tweet afterwards, but it's the internet, so everything's out there forever. So someone replied to the tweet as like, yo, it's Naughty Dog, DM me. And it's someone that works I don't know where that person worked at, but he's associated somehow to Naughty Dog or something. So and then that tweet was deleted. So if
that's crazy, dude, that they actually would challenge that game and say like it almost, are they saying that it looks too good that it's just not real? Because I mean, to me it looked really, really good, the movement that you're saying and all that.
Yep.
But I didn't think it was fake for a second. I'm surprised they would come up with that.
Yeah. So that, I mean, after I guess he DM'd the other guy, he deleted the tweet.
That's crazy, man.
So that's interesting, right?
Yeah.
But then Joe, again, this looks like it's going to be another really heavy story. They're pushing the boundaries, and that's good.
It's Naughty Dog, man. I mean, like the stuff they put out there, they take some time, but it's amazing. Like Crash Bandicoot or The Last of Us, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, like I said, like right now, Naughty Dog are the best developers in the world. So, they can, if someone can pull this sort of experience off, is Naughty Dog. And they had I think that was a great demo that they had for The Last of Us.
I thought it was a great demo. I will say this though, I don't think it was worth the whole room. That whole room experience thing. I don't believe it. I feel like even if I was there, like it's kind of like this aha, like, oh, I see what you did. Like I'm in the room as this thing, but I don't think it was so. I
think they were going for something immersive, and
exactly,
and it turned out to be cumbersome.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessary, is my point, and I think it actually hurt them more than it did help them.
Yeah. I agree with you. They should have just showcased everything in the theater.
Yeah, game looks good. Just see the game, not the experience thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It was phenomenal. But then after that, Joel, holy crap, Ghost of Tsushima, and dude, I was blown away.
You were freaking out on the live stream. Like, guys, if you get a chance, if you haven't seen it, or if you did, just watch it again. Like, Obed was losing his cool. I thought it was amazing. But Obed was like hitting me like, "Oh my gosh, the leaves are on fire!" I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, so I got really hyped. Yeah. So I am really excited for the game. And then the next morning they confirmed us like, oh yeah, we have a Japanese voiceover. So
exactly what you
like
said.
what I said, is like, man, this thing they have to have a Japanese voiceover on it. So they are going to do that, just for authenticity, right? Because it looks so authentic and it looks so fresh too. Because it's I don't think there's been an open world game set on feudal Japan yet, and I think this is going to be the first one. And it looks fantastic, Joel. I mean, what else can I say? It's
I'm
just
all in, bro.
yeah. It's just that it's one of those things that it elevates the art form, right? It's God of War all over again for me.
It's amazing.
It looks really good. And I'm very impressed. I mean, it's Sucker Punch. I know that they can pull it off, and I can't wait to see more of this thing. So I would dare to say that quite possibly was my game of the show.
I'm with you there. That's funny. We actually have an agreement on that. Yeah.
Okay. I'm
factor.
Yeah, I'm confident to say that's my game of the show. But it's a and we'll talk. I'll talk about the ones that I'm really excited at the end. But this hands down to me was the game of the show.
Wow.
It looked like a freaking Kurosawa movie in HDR. It's fantastic. So after that, Joel, we got we're not going to talk about that Rick and Morty thing, because I went back and watched it and it wasn't that great.
No, I was like, okay.
Yeah, but Control by Remedy, they showed that trailer and it looked fantastic on the trailer. But I don't know if you saw the gameplay demo, Joel. They have a 20-minute.
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
No.
Yeah, go and watch it, man. They have a 20-minute gameplay demo, and it looks fan-freaking-tastic too.
Okay, I was hoping you were gonna say it's bad, because I honestly, that was one of the ones that was like a pleasant surprise. It's supposed to be cross-platform, right?
I think it's multi-platform, yeah.
Which is fine, but like that game looks so good. Like again, it's the same guys that did Quantum Break and whatnot, but it looked like amazing. The gun transforming and all that, like that this girl's using. Yeah, I was like, this is impressive, very innovative.
Yeah, it reminded me a lot of Psyops. Remember that game on PS2?
Yes.
Yeah, so reminded me the gameplay demo. It looks like she has some like telekinetic energy and the gun, and she can grab debris and create a shield around her for just a shield for bullets, basically. It looks really good. That gameplay demo, Joel, if you have a chance, just go watch it on YouTube. It's real nice. But there's another gameplay demo, Joe, for the game that's coming out next that actually hit you during our dive.
It was hilarious. Another one you want to watch Obed's reaction.
So it's Resident Evil 2 remake.
RE2.
There's they revealed it here. It was just a trailer, but there's a few gameplay demos out there already. They had a 15-minute gameplay demo at the Sony booth or the Capcom booth. And then, oh man, it looks again, man. I would this would have been my game of the show if Ghost of Tsushima wasn't there.
Which that's saying something, man. That means Ghost of Tsushima is that legit.
Yeah. But it looks scary. It looks really dark too, because it's like it's lights out basically, and I love what they did with this game, where I'm assuming you played the PS1 Resident Evil games, right? Where you have the tank controls and you go around, right? And everything's lit because it's you can't see where you're going, and that's the suspense. But in this game, because they went with a camera similar to Resident Evil 4. What the mechanic they have right now on this one is a flashlight, so you can't see where you're going because it's so dark. So now you have a flashlight, and that's basically how you get around the police station. And it's scary, man. Zombies look really. This is the scariest zombies have been in a while, because they look like they don't look like funny zombies. They look like legit, like Walking Dead type of zombies.
Obed's gonna be sitting on his couch playing this game, And every now and then, whoo, he's gonna just jump with his controller. I want to watch Let's Plays with Obed with this game.
So I should do a Let's Play of RE4 because I can get through that game like I know that game like the back of my hand. So it's
probably makes it even more fun.
Yeah. Well, man, that's true. I can play it on professional. That would up the ante.
Challenge accepted.
Come on, it's baby challenge. It's like, it's like I know people that can't get anywhere. It's like it's a baby. It's a baby. A baby can finish this game on professional.
This is Obed stepping up his gamer creds right here.
But 2 hits and you're dead. It's like don't get hit. You're a baby. No, it's actually pretty challenging on pro.
Yeah.
But that gameplay demo looks sick. Like the lighting effects they have, how the zombies move, and how they behave like, basically humans that can't feel pain because they're already dead, and they get shot and they go like the head pops back, but they just keep walking like nothing happened, and that's what's scary about this game. It looks really tense. Fantastic. Again, if you have a chance to watch those gameplay demos that are out there, go ahead and watch them because they're great. Death Stranding. So let's talk about it, because I was a little bit not super crazy when I watched it on the press conference, but I went back and watched the gameplay demo, and I am really excited. And you know why I'm really excited, Joel? Because this is something fresh. This is not a Metal Gear clone. This is not a God of War clone. This is not a Gears of War clone. This is not a Halo clone. This is not a GTA clone. It's something new and fresh, and people are upset. Fanboys are upset, and even Xbox fanboys are upset at this game because they don't know what it is. And I think that is genius that you don't know what this is, because it's new. It looks like a new game genre. It's like Hideo Kojima had the opportunity to just create a new game genre like he did with Metal Gear, where there was no stealth games basically back then, and he just created his own thing.
Yeah, I honestly was not disappointed with what I saw. I was more confused by it, but I think that's like actually a positive in this situation. I think that confusion leads to intrigue. Like it leads me to want to have more. I think, and this goes for a lot of different things, where you could be a fan of someone or some particular work, and because of that, you have expectations. Sometimes that's a thing that blinds us and causes us not to see something that's really great in front of us just because we're looking through a certain filter or a certain lens. And I think when you're talking about games like Death Stranding, you're talking about guys like Hideo Kojima, you're talking about someone that's going to do something new, because they just are a creator. That's just what they do. They're not someone who regurgitates stuff in the industry. This is somebody who says, let me come and let me take my own stuff. Hence the baby. It's like, this is his baby. So there's a lot of symbolism there in this game. And that's what makes me more intrigued, because I'm like, what story is he trying to tell me? What is he trying to tell us as the gamers? He's not just making these games just to shoot 'em up, bang, bang. Like, he's always got a very interesting psychological reasoning behind his storytelling and how he does what he does. And that's what makes this game so strong. Hence why Metal Gear existed as long as it did. And it would still be continuing if he was part of Konami, but that's a whole other topic for another podcast.
R.I.P. Metal Gear.
R.I.P. Metal Gear. Poor Konami.
But yeah,
I'm hyped for it, man. Yeah. I'm okay. I'm just confused but intrigued.
Yeah, exactly, and that's a good thing. But just to correct myself, back then, the actress that played the female, I guess, lead that was talking to Norman Reedus is not his wife. Is Leah Seydoux, who was Inspector. You mentioned it.
I did say.
Yeah, and then I went back and looked up, and she was Inspector, and she was in quite a few other things.
She's been in a lot of major films, actually. Yeah. She's very big in France, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, big actress there.
Yep. And then the actress that chose at the end is a young version of Lindsay Wagner, who was the Bionic Woman back in the 80s.
That's right.
So that was again very interesting, and I didn't notice that it was her because she was on the credits post. So I was like, well, that doesn't look like Lindsay Wagner. And they had an interview with Kojima and Lindsay Wagner. I was like, oh crap, it's the Bionic Woman.
That's
So
awesome.
that's how I realized it. So that's interesting. I mean, some big names attached to this thing, of course. You know, Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen, Guillermo del Toro are, involved. It's a big deal. This game's going to be a big deal, and I can't wait to see what the heck this is. I'm really excited.
It's great.
Other than that, we didn't get anything else. Were they jump
Spider-Man? I mean, more Spider-Man. It looks great. I mean, I can't say anything more than that. Yeah. The game comes out. It's great.
Yep. After that, they jumped right into Spider-Man, and it looks fantastic. And again, I heard based on people that played the demo on the floor, there was like, oh yeah, this is like next level stuff. Like what they did is like it's a miraculous game. I heard one saying. Because it's really good, and amazing. People should be really excited for this game. Again, another game that I know it's going to review really well, but it's man, Sony definitely killed it, and they've had 2 solid years, and that's really exciting. But they kept to their promise that they're going to focus on showing this 4 games, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah, I just thought the presentation was a little awkward and weird, but what they did show us these games was stuff that put a smile on my face. And
absolutely,
I know you and I had a great time on Monday.
Yeah, and it's I mean, again, like if you go back and if you're a retro gamer and you still reminisce of the good old days where there was no load time on video games and the 8-bit graphics and these things. I'm a retro gamer. There has not been a better time to be a gamer than right now. It's the best time to play video games. And we're seeing its evolution into something bigger. But I can't wait to see what comes out of that. Joe, and then after that, Nintendo had something, I guess. Kind of disappointing if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it was for me, it was fine. But like it was like literally everything that we talked about like beforehand. So there was no like cool factor to it. I'm a big Smash Bros guy. So I was already excited beforehand for it. Yeah. It just got me more excited watching it. Although Obed, I know there's some this stuff like Waluigi is not a playable character or something. That's a little weird. I don't get that. People are going crazy over that on the internet.
Yeah, there was a thing on Reddit that everyone's back and there's a thing of Waluigi just sitting down like really sad. Playing. Yeah.
That's weird. But what was really cool about it, Obed, I'm sure you saw this, and I didn't fully get to look into this more. GameCube controllers are usable for this?
Yeah, because they did the same for the Wii U.
Right. I'm just saying for the Switch, they're continuing that on. That's impressive.
Yeah, so they're going to have an adapter, a USB adapter, where you can plug in GameCube controllers and keep playing Smash with GameCube.
Hey, I'll do it, man. I still got my GameCube controllers. I'll break them out for this.
Yeah, and they released a new, like they released like the I think it wasn't Nintendo themselves that made them. It was a third party. But it's exactly the same GameCube controllers that you can buy at a store.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I thought that was pretty cool. And then the other thing
that was their big announcement. Their big announcement.
Right, but it was like nothing that caught us by surprise. But I thought it was cool because I'm into Smash Bros. But then the Fortnite thing was interesting because we knew they were going to announce that coming, but it was literally like it's available right now. Like they literally said this game is like you can literally play Fortnite now, starting right now as we were announcing it. So that was cool for people because Fortnite's the big hype, the big thing right now. So instead of saying coming to you this fall, it's like no, you can play it right now because everyone's playing Fortnite. You can join in. But Obed, I'm sure you've heard about the controversy between what's going on between Sony and Nintendo with Fortnite. I don't know if you've heard about this, about the accounts
Yeah, so once you set up or once you log into an Epic account on PS4, those games are locked for PS4. You can still crossplay with PC, iOS, and Mac. I think that's what they said, but not play with other consoles. Um, I think that's a very regressive policy, and it's gonna come back to bite Sony in the ass if you ask me.
Yeah, yeah.
The EU has very strict policies and laws in place for this sort of thing, and I think they may not be too happy with what the outcome of all this stuff is. In my opinion, Sony should go ahead and just like, you know what, screw it,
Just unlock it.
just unlock it at least for Fortnite. Just because of it being Fortnite, I believe Sony should do it. They did put a press release out there today the wording I'm not a big fan of, with like, oh yeah, there's already a bunch of players. What do you want to play with more players? We don't have nothing more to say right now. That's basically what they said. So I think that they should look at this thing. And I think their stock went down today because of the Fortnite thing.
Wow.
Once it starts affecting them monetarily, then they'll probably make a change, and that's always what happens. Yeah. So I'm hoping that they do away with this regressive way of creating cross-platform play, and then they go ahead and they implement a more lenient policy regarding this. So I think they're in the wrong in this one.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah. But other than Smash, we did get a little bit more of a look at the new Pokemon. Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, and looks fun. It's gonna be great. I know it's gonna sell well during the holidays. They did announce a bundle with that they're calling it the Pokeball Plus, that Pokeball controller.
Yeah.
Excuse me, and I think it's $100. So I mean, it's kind of expensive, but it's gonna sell. It's Pokemon. People are gonna buy it. These games are gonna be out there, I believe, in time for Christmas. So people are gonna grab them, and kids are gonna grab them. It looks like very family friendly. I mean, of course, it's Pokemon, but just the presentation of it, it looks very appealing to a younger audience, not just the hardcore Pokemon fans. So that's good. And Smash Ultimate is coming out December 7th, right? If I'm not wrong.
That's right.
Announcement date. So I mean, they had cool stuff that's gonna get them through the end of the year. But next year they need to bring it. And of course, Nintendo has different Nintendo Directs throughout the year where they keep announcing stuff. So they don't necessarily rely on E3 as a big platform anymore. I mean, they don't even have a show. They just do a YouTube video. So, I mean, that's Nintendo, right? They're doing their own thing. It's working. Just let them. I mean,
it's always been that way.
Yeah, so whatever works for them. If they're Switch is still selling good, Dragon Ball Fighter Z is coming out for Switch. They confirmed it at the conference. They're gonna re-release or a remake or re-release of The World Ends with You, which I know it's a very sought after game and it's a very popular game. So I'm pretty sure it's gonna do well. But other than that, the new Mario Party, Super Mario Party, they announced.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. I love Mario Party, and that's cool because like it takes advantage of the whole. You have a Switch, your friends have a Switch, join together, make it a party. I thought that was a really interesting way of evolving that franchise.
Yeah, because I think it had become a little stagnant for a
same thing. Yep.
Yeah, so that's good that they're at least working on refreshing it, which is great. But that was pretty much it, man. Other than that, there's some gameplay demos. There's a countdown on the Arc System Works site with I think it says Trigger Cross Arcsys with the Kill la Kill font. If you don't know, Kill la Kill is a very, very fan servicey action comedy anime. It's really good. So, but it's not a beginner anime. It's like intermediate going into advanced because it's super fan servicey, and there's some things that are kind of questionable, uh, but it's really really funny, and it's the action's fantastic. So the speculation is that there's going to be an Arc Sys game based on Kill la Kill, so we'll see how that goes. I don't know where the timer is right now, but I think it was like either 60 days or 60 hours, something like that. I saw it yesterday. And of course we got like I mentioned, the gameplay demos, RE2, Control, some other things that demoed in the floor, in-depth looks at some other things. But Joel, again, other than Ghost of Tsushima, man, just to wrap it up, what anything else that caught your eye out there?
I have to say, Control was one of them, man. Like I'm gonna go back and watch that gameplay because like that was an interesting. Like I remember sitting there as it came up, and I was like, huh, that looks pretty awesome. Um, I definitely thought that Just Cause 4 also looked like a lot of fun. Like it's weird. Like when I was watching, I was like, huh, looks like a pretty cool game that I might actually play. Like, just cause, or those are some fun ones just to do. Just cause.
It looks like they went with a more serious tone on this one compared to
Yeah, that one looked pretty good. Kingdom Hearts is another one now, man. Like I've never been a Kingdom Hearts guy, not like against it, just wasn't something I just picked up. And honestly, like I probably will jump in because those games look like fun. Even with bad trailers, Obed, it actually looks good. So that's saying something. I don't know how you feeling, Obed.
What Kingdom Hearts you mean, or
No,
overall?
just your overall to wrap up your thoughts.
All right. So you know who won E3, Joe? Capcom won, because Devil May Cry 4. I'm sorry, Devil May Cry 5, Resident Evil 2 remake. They won buys for me, no question. I'm gonna get those games right, and Capcom won E3 for me. Other than that, we got the samurai games, or the Japanese inspired games. So Ghost of Tsushima, of course, being my number one game of the show. But I also heard that Sekiro demoed really really well, and it's more of an action game versus a full, an action RPG with like Dark Souls. So I heard it's a lot faster paced. So I'm very curious to see more of that. But yeah, I mean, I would say that would be my top picks, and I'm looking forward to Kingdom Hearts. I like Kingdom Hearts. And it's something that, some of the first things that I played back when I got my PS2. So I'm pretty excited for that. But I mean, all the Sony stuff was great. I'm really curious to see what this new Halo is going to be. But again, we're probably 3 to 5 years away from actually seeing something about it. And just some of the news that not broke today, but there was an article that came out either very early this morning or overnight about the potential successor to the PS4. Not E3 related, but someone at AMD said that the Vega architecture that we're using for graphics was not working the way they hoped, and this Navi concept for graphics that the PS5 or whatever it's going to be called will have, it's co-developed with Sony, which makes me think that this console may have like exclusive tech on it. But we'll see. Again, too early to know. I'm still curious to see what Microsoft is going to offer with those, Project Scarlet devices. But yeah, that's what I would say. It would be probably again, Ghost of Tsushima, Resident Evil 2, Devil May Cry 4, and Sekiro. It's going to be my
Nice.
top 4.
Nice lineup there, man.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's a quick wrap up of E3 and what our thoughts are. We're probably just gonna go back to dissing DC on our next and Comcast on our on our next episode. But I think that's what we got, Joel. If you want to go ahead and just go ahead and plug us in.
Absolutely. Guys, thank you for taking time out of your day. Listen to us here on No Load Time for this episode. We appreciate it. We want to make sure you stay connected with us, so make sure that you subscribe to our show, whether you're a listener through podcasts. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. You can also subscribe to the video version that's on our YouTube channel. And if you're watching on our YouTube channel, remember, check out our recap of E3, our Monday night live stream recording. If you didn't watch it, go ahead and watch it on our YouTube channel. And also, we want to make sure that you guys stay connected with us through our social media so you can see when we're doing other new and cool stuff and our thoughts on things to stay informed. So go ahead and follow us on our social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Also, we want to make sure you could feel open to sending us any comments or feedback. We'd love to hear from you. So go ahead and shoot an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. It's noloadtime@gmail.com. We welcome to hear from you guys, and we are so excited for you guys to join us for our next episode. Until next time, we'll see you here on No Load Time.
Yeah, thank you guys, and we'll see you again on the next episode.